Welcome back, everyone. If you're confused about what this channel is and how you became subscribed, this channel used to be called Rapid MMA, so let me do a brief introduction. I've changed the channel name from Rapid MMA to Fight Talk. My name is Tyler. Many of you already know that. I'm going to try to make videos more often again, and they may look a little different. The format is probably going to be a little bit different to accommodate my schedule, but I miss talking fights with you guys. And this upcoming bout with Dillashaw and Garbrandt, I'm pumped about. The rest of the card is pretty sad, aside from the main and the co-main. And obviously, I'm a huge Cub Swanson fan, so I'm always down to watch him. There's a few good fights mixed in here and there, but overall, does anybody really want to pay over $60 for something like this? I really doubt it. But I mean, we've seen this trending in this direction for a little bit now. But enough about that. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to talk about this fight, so let's get started. I don't need to spend a lot of time on particulars. Cody is younger, he's a little taller, but Dillashaw is a little more experienced and has the reach advantage. Most of Cody's wins come by knockout or TKO with a few decisions mixed in. 100% takedown defense, 69% significant strike defense while landing 3 per minute. Basically, if you're not already aware, Cody is a striker with solid takedown defense, although I have a hunch Dillashaw would like to get that notch in his belt by taking Cody to the mat. I think that was a part of TJ's plan in the last fight, but obviously it never really came or needed to come to fruition. Dillashaw's stats show that he lands more significant strikes per minute at 5. A lot of that has to do with the brow fights, but either way, he does throw a lot of volume. His striking defense is solid at 66% and averages about 2 takedowns in a 15-minute span. Dillashaw showcases his entire skill set more than Cody does. Has wins by KO, submission, and decision. No surprise there. And I think that only has built TJ's confidence in his ability to take the fight anywhere or handle the fight anywhere it goes. The last time these two fought was UFC 217 in November of 2017. The buildup was intense. And I remember actually I was kind of getting tired of the whole storyline of TJ leaving Alpha Male and his relationship with Dwayne Ludwig and the dynamics between him and Uriah Faber. Then, of course, the Ultimate Fighter with Conor McGregor and the snake in the grass thing. It really began to wear on me. But by the time the fight came around, you could actually feel the tension. Obviously, there were a lot of intangible factors outside the cage that probably played a role in how it went down. But for the sake of time, I'm not really going to touch on that. I think many of you are probably banking on the fact that Cody is likely more mentally stable, more physically healthy, and I guarantee probably some of you are going to say he might even be worse now. I'm not sure. Those factors are too wild card for me, but speculate as you will. They probably do play a really big role, but it's just difficult to really know about those things until fight time rolls around. I love the first round of their fight. They had a very push and pull dynamic with TJ just leading in volume of strikes, using a lot of feints and movement, trying to draw out the attack of Cody, getting him to think and overanalyze his patterns. It seemed TJ was looking and trying to create opportunities to attack, but Cody stayed very disciplined and not allowing TJ to get an angle. Both were very calculated in their approach in the first round, but I do give this slight edge to Dillashaw, even though he was knocked down in the fight. Now, I'm not saying that Dillashaw won that round. In fact, Cody won that round, but Dillashaw was just more calculated, and I'll explain that a little bit later. Cody really played a patient game in the first round. The times he mainly pulled the trigger was off TJ's kicks, very fast and explosive. This is one of the first major exchanges between the two. Cody pulls the trigger off the kick, presses forward with combinations, the same thing he did against Dominic Cruz. I love that at the end of this exchange, Cody does land a head kick on TJ, and at the same time, we see that TJ is looking to land that right hand while Cody's left is down. And it's really just a great exchange between the two, and really a highlight of why this fight is a pick'em, because this is where they both had success. Another exchange here where TJ is looking for that right hand when Cody's left is down, and it was just out of range. You can see Cody's reaction to it. He has excellent eyes. He felt it coming and just moved slightly out of the way. The main reason I feel that TJ was more calculated in the first round, even despite the knockdown, is that he decided to attack Cody and take that risk, not at an angle, at exactly the right time in the fight. As you can see, this is after the 10-second clap. Whether it was a part of the game plan or not, TJ wanted to put the stamp on the first round. I think he knew he was going to take a risk, but the round is almost up, so if he does get clipped, he'll have a chance to recover. Obviously, He did get clipped, and I'm sure he didn't want to get smacked that hard, but it was a calculated risk, and not a decision based on emotion, rather just winning rounds, I believe. Either way, we see that if TJ wants to exchange with Cody in the pocket, it comes with great risk if it isn't set up in the best way possible. But that does go for both fighters, and I'm sure that weighs on their minds headed into the rematch. And I kind of question whether or not we'll see more reservation from both guys and how that'll affect the pace of the fight. I mean, it's quite possible we see these two not biting each other's bait. So it could be an interesting counter-fighting experience for the first few rounds, but we'll find out. One thing I do hope we see more of in this fight is Cody's jab. I really doubt we will. He has a great jab, and I know his corner was calling for the up jab all during the first outing, but we just didn't see much of it. He did throw it a couple times in the first and a few more in the second. It did land with great effect. He didn't really capitalize on that opportunity, however. Cody doesn't really use his jab, hasn't much in the past, but it is effective. It comes with risk, but so does any other strike. I'd love to see more teeps, more kicks, and that jab from Cody. I think that'll certainly upset TJ's snake-like rhythm and his movements, and it'll set up his counter shots, which will only serve to benefit Cody. For TJ, I'd love to see a little bit more wrestling, that changing of levels. Take him down if the opportunity presents itself. We know how well-rounded he can be, and I'm sure it was part of the game plan in the first fight, but probably never really came to fruition because of how it went down. I have a feeling we're going to see a bit of everything in the rematch. This is a close fight. I feel like TJ is going to be one step ahead as far as tactics, and I just take that with a grain of salt because I know how Cody and his team prepare for his fighters too, but it just seems like TJ holds that advantage at this point. We've seen Cody wrestle here and there, certainly not as much as TJ. Reed from Fightnomics breaks it down well in a recent tweet saying, quote, Garbrandt and Dillashaw have scored 16 combined knockdowns to date, including the 3 from their last fight. Cody more power on paper, while TJ gets an edge in total output and pace, unquote. I think over the course of a 25-minute fight, that pace and output will win rounds, unless, of course, Cody can put together a performance as flawless as the one against Dominic Cruz. And obviously, that's very possible. We know the mental and physical issues Cody was dealing with in the previous fight, and presumably he's in a much better place now. That's something to keep in mind. At the same time, TJ has his new gym, and he's still working with Bang Ludwig. We'll find out how he looks with those changes too. I'm siding with TJ in this fight. I think likely a close decision victory, and I know that sounds a little bit crazy to say because these guys are very explosive, and just like in their last fight, it's probably going to swing heavily back and forth. I do think it might be a little bit slower paced, but with Cody being so explosive, while TJ is very savvy, it makes for intense moments. So I got to side with TJ in this fight, and it's a tough one to pick, I think. I'm really excited about it, though, and that's why I wanted to kind of talk about it. And I wanted to know who you guys are siding with. Are any of you sharp bettors out there going to make a play on this fight? I just feel like it's a coin flip, so I would imagine a lot of you aren't. If anything, you might bet a round or maybe a finish or something like that. But comment down below. If you're new, please subscribe, and if you're returning, welcome back. Follow me on Twitter at FightTalkTyler. I'll put that right on the screen here. You'll find everything you want down in the description as well. I'm glad to be back. Catch you guys in the next one.